All right, to get started creating your own Nearpod presentations, first you're going to go to nearpod.com and you're going to click sign in. Okay, it's going to ask you to create an account the first time, and if you're logged in already with your school Gmail account, you just have to click log in with Google and it'll connect that account. You'll have to say yes to some permissions, but after that you have an account and you're all signed in. From your library, you can create new presentations. So click the New button, and you can either create a folder to store different subjects in or something like that, or you can just create a new lesson. Okay, in the lesson creation, you can give it a title up here. And just for future reference, if you have a PowerPoint slideshow or other things that you want to bring over from previous presentations, you don't have to start from scratch. A lot of times you can just drag them right here and it will bring in that PowerPoint presentation and convert it into a Nearpod presentation. And then you could go edit it and add in interactivity if you wanted to. But we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to click Add Slide. And you have three buttons here. The first one is Add Content. So I'll spend some time on this section first. The slide editor and the slide feature basically produce the same thing. The slide editor is a little nicer, and it says it's in beta, so it's something that they're testing still. But either one of these will create a regular slide with some text and maybe a picture on it. So click the slide editor. You can click to add a title. You can add more text or an image down here. Video features, I believe, are tied to the paid account, which is called the Gold account. So if you're going to have a free account, I don't think you can use video. There's a layout option down here with a couple other options, so you could have two different sections here if you wanted to. You can add an audio clip to your slide if you need to, and there's a preview button to see what it would look like. Okay, so I'll just put in a title here just so we have something to work with, and I'll click Save. So that's kind of a generic text-based slide with maybe an image, so that's a PowerPoint equivalent. Okay, so we'll add another slide, and we'll go to Content, and we'll move across the page here. There are a couple of features here that are only in test mode, and Nearpod 3D is one of those. I tested this and it wouldn't work on student stations depending on what software they're running, so I wouldn't trust this one. It's just a collection of 3D images, and so they're kind of cool, but they may not work on your student station, so maybe test that out if you're going to use one of these. Next to that is something called Sway, and this is tied to Microsoft's Office 360 subscription, and we don't have that in this district, so you can't use that one. Field Trip is a VR experience, and that's part of the Gold account that you have to pay for. But you can add a slideshow, audio clips. These other things are paid account items. So really, under Add Content, you're kind of limited to just creating regular slides here. Okay. Web content. This section again is part of the premium service. So if you get a paid account, you can add web pages right in the middle of your presentation. But we can add some activities here. So let's take a look at those. So open-ended question, you can click that and you just type in your question. You can add an image to that question if you want to, and you click Save. And that's all there is to it. This question will be there, and the students will be able to enter in their own individual answers during the slideshow. The next one is a poll, and so it's essentially a multiple choice question. You can add more than one question here. You can add another answer. Okay, so a poll doesn't have right or wrong answers. It's just a collection of information. And then the other activity we'll take a look at is the quiz. And for a quiz, you can add more answers if you need more than two, and you can add more questions. So you put a title for your quiz, question 1, and then answer 1 and answer 2. If I need a third or fourth, I can click Add Answer to make those show up. And then you use the checkbox here to decide which is the correct answer. And you can have more than one correct answer if you want to. If you want to duplicate this question and quickly make another round, just do that, and then you've got question 2 here. And we'll say that's the correct answer for that one. To get rid of a question, click the trash can. To get rid of one of your answers, click the trash can here. And it's pretty intuitive. Once you've created them, you can drag and drop the order by just clicking and rearranging the questions like so. And you can collapse them for more space. Okay, so I'll save my quiz with 2 questions there. And then the very last activity that I showed in the example is a drawing activity. And so click Draw It, and give them some instructions, and click Save. Collaborate is it's a new feature. I think it's free right now, but it might end up being one of those paid things later. But Collaborate is similar to Padlet, if you remember that from a previous tech challenge. But it's a way to allow students to pin ideas and images to a collective board. So it's a great brainstorming tool. So in the middle of your presentation, you could say, hey, let's think of ideas for this situation. And every student can pin something to the board. And as a teacher, you can watch them and approve them or delete them if they're inappropriate or things like that. Fill in the blanks and memory test. Those are neat tools as well, but those are paid only. So you can't use those ones for the free account. All right, so that's the idea. It's very simple to set up these presentations, and once you've created one, you can save and exit, put in a few details like what grades it's appropriate for, and give it a subject, and then save and exit. Note that there's 2 options here, present a live lesson or a student-paced lesson. Student-paced is a paid account version, and what it does is it allows the slideshow to run independently. So a student could get a code and run through it at home or at their own pace. It doesn't depend on the teacher clicking to the next slide each time. But again, that's a paid feature. The live lesson, the interactive thing that you do in the classroom with students, that part is free. Okay, if you want to present your deal just like I showed in the previous example, you click Live Lesson. It will give you a code, and you just put that on the whiteboard or on the projector and tell your students to enter it. So students just go to any web browser and they go to nearpod.com and they type in the code, and boom, they're in the lesson with you. So please let me know if you need any assistance with setting something like that up.